on.
We're on.
Gabby.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Early morning.
It's not too early. It's worse to be late for you guys. So I have 2 young children who wake me up at 4:30. We're fine.
Well, we're going to jump straight into it. I'm phoning in from Allen, our camper van, which is a kind of our HQ and where we do a lot of our meetings. So hopefully that will work with the recording and everything else. But we love to start with our favorite question, which is all about biscuits. And if you were a biscuit, what kind of biscuit would you be and why?
I would probably have to peruse the supermarket aisles for this, as I'm also not a sweet tooth. So I think can I be 2 kinds of biscuits?
Yes,
just one.
Of course.
I'm a water cracker, but I'm a water cracker that's not just a plain water cracker. I have salt on me, so I have a little bit of factor. But I'm a water cracker because you put like cheese on there and a little bit of pesto or a little bit of hummus, and you just you're a vehicle for the water cracker to take, or for the dip to taste good. So that's my work biscuit.
Yes.
And then I think I have a home biscuit, which is like one of those ones where no one really pretends to like them, like a squiggle top or something, but actually everyone is totally loves a squiggle top. A squiggle top. So when you come down, I'm going to be squiggle topping you.
I love squiggles. I miss them. Only in New Zealand. Good. Probably Australia.
Correct. A little bit of hokey pokey, but yeah, no, they're delicious. Yeah.
You make me homesick, Gabs. You're definitely a squiggle, not a water cracker, but I love the analogy. I think that you're the carrier of all the good stuff. That's really cool.
Well, and the bad stuff too. Like I can do sardines if you want me to, which So those, I think those are my biscuits.
Yeah, only you could choose 2. Do you want another one while we're on?
I do have a ginger child, so I could be a ginger nut or a ginger nut carrier, but no, I'm not.
Yeah. A good dunking biscuit.
Yeah.
Well, you're out the blocks early here, Gabby. But what we'd love to hear you answer is, who are you and what do you think is the most interesting thing about you?
Who am I? I say a young woman. I'm a middle-aged woman. No, I am a determined change maker. I think I've got an element of kind of like, some might say kind of like stupidity, but also courage. And so hence starting a business in a downed market. I'm also a wonderful friend, a highly trusted person, a lover of all things people. I love connecting with humans. I find them really fascinating. Only if they work hard, though. If they don't work hard, I've got no time. And I'm also a mother and a wife and a dog owner, and a lover of all things outdoors. And so, yeah, I think that's me. The most interesting thing about me right now, I don't tell many people this, I'm just about to sit my grade 6 Trinity College London singing exams. Shock horror. I know.
I forgot you were a singer. I forgot that.
Yeah, it's not something I peddle out very often. Unless you give me like 17 Chardonnays, and then I'll get up on the table and hold a friend's hand and sing a song. So
I love that. It's quite interesting, that question, who are you, which is such a big question. How many people answer it with what their job role is? And you only sailed a bit close to that by saying I'm a business owner, but everything else was, just so interesting to hear the different answers to that question.
I think my business embodies who I am. So I'm so lucky that I've been able to every day I wake up and I'm like, I literally do something that is just me to a T. And when I speak to my team about, do I lean into this courageous conversation or do I just let it fly? I'm like, be bold. What are our values? We're courageous. And so, I feel like, as I say, I've had lots of jobs, as we know, which I've loved. This is the first time I've actually had the privilege of actually doing something that just feels like me every day. So I'm super lucky.
Yeah. And can you tell us a little bit about your business and what it is you actually carry on the water cracker?
Sure. So much stuff. So I guess background to my business is coming out of people and culture, HR, whatever you want to call it. And actually, Margie, you were a huge part of that. And I actually answered this question the other day, is what kind of HR do you do? And I said, well, there's transactional and there's transformational. And so I kind of grew up with this transformational P&C kind of hat on. And so after a series of roles in sort of tech startups through a relationship that we all have, Dave Christensen, thank you, ended up going in and doing a sort of a fractional gig and realised there is a gap in the market in New Zealand for scaling tech businesses that need a really good grunty operational people and culture function. So that's us. We drive productivity through people, the employee experience stuff that everyone talks about, benefits and culture, and like we don't do that. We do that once we've scaled the business, and then we do like, do you have the right people in the right roles? This is how you make tough calls. This is how you hire the right humans. This is how you exit people. And so we started last May, and we've grown exponentially. We've now got a team of 6, and looking forward to a massive 2025 because people need it. Like it's,
absolutely. And it is kind of, that's real grunty commercial people and culture stuff,
It is
true value add.
Yeah,
thank you.
That's okay.
Gabby, I definitely can't move on without asking you if you had to sing a song.
Yeah.
What song would it be?
What would it be? Oh, that's such a good question. I'm not doing it, just to let you know.
Is that
not doing it. No, just I'm not doing it. But I'm a massive show tune geek. Just putting it out there. But at the moment, just because I'm like hot off Italian aria world, I'd probably sing a little tune called Ombra Mafu to you, which is an Italian aria. But again, I'm not doing it.
All right. We'll have to work on that one, Keith, I reckon.
Mm-hmm.
No, but it really helps to shape who you are, and we love to play this game, the either or game, where you get to choose one or the other. So I'm going to kick us off, and hopefully we'll get to know you a wee bit better. So I'm going to kick off with certainty or uncertainty.
100% uncertainty. Don't give me certainty. I get super bored.
I won my bet.
Doubt or regret?
Doubt, for sure.
Talking or listening?
I love talking, but I have to listen, so I have to say listening. That's my I really enjoy talking, like the sound of my own voice, but in my job, I need to listen.
Yeah. Morning or evening?
Morning. Love a morning. I'm in bed by 8:30, like happily asleep.
Yeah.
Dragons or unicorns?
Such a good question.
Random, I know.
No, I think dragons, because I like unicorns are lovely and whimsical and magical, and I love that for others. But I am just a bit of a dragon, and so I'm just going to say dragons. They just got a bit more gumption about them.
Yeah.
North Island or South Island?
Oh, that's a hard question. Probably North Island, just because I live here and I have done for a long time. Yeah. The only reason I'm dragging myself south is for the snow, but actually it's better in the northern hemisphere, so I'm going to say north.
Yeah, nice. And this is the big one, Gabby. Alchemy or adventuring, and why?
So I'm so naughty. I'm going to double barrel all my answers. It's adventuring for me because people are like, oh, you should meditate. It's like super good for stress levels. And actually for me, I've got a mountain 5 minutes from my house, and I run up that mountain 3 or 4 times a week with my dog, who runs away sometimes. Very annoying. But I turn around to this like vast landscape that we live in, and that's my alchemy. So like for me, it's getting out in nature and like pushing myself, and it's the endorphin thing, and I get back and I'm just a way nicer human being. So yeah, always got to start with adventuring.
Even though I'm 2-0 down on this already, I love that answer so much. I'm calling that a draw. That's 1-1. That's a
I can't believe that you Did you sit before this and say it's going to be that or that?
We're just highly competitive, so we're always.
What does the loser have to do?
We haven't got a forfeit yet, actually. So think about that. I love that, though. I love that about your natural landscape and that beautiful mountain out your back door. And when you go up there, which is adventurous, it's where you find your alchemy. Yeah, that's gorgeous.
And I literally, I have this moment that's it's super embarrassing. Like if someone could see me, they'd be like, whoa. But I turn around this one spot, not even at the top, but it's just this place that I feel like total peace. And so, so lucky.
Lovely.
Great views up there, Gabby.
Amazing views. I'll send you some pics. I'm going up later.
And a great vineyard at the bottom.
What's that?
A great vineyard.
Many.
Awesome.
Many great vineyards. Yeah, I've been trapped at seed vineyards a lot lately. I need to stop being so festive.
So, Gabby, this is our New Zealand series. So I'd love you to tell us, just describe your relationship with New Zealand, kind of what it means to you.
So I was not born in New Zealand, for the record. I'm South African immigrant. Moved to New Zealand for a more.
You like it then? No.
I love it. No, for me, it was for my parents. It was wanting to be in a more safe and inclusive environment. So and living overseas, I think you go through your 20s just wanting to be completely anonymous and do anything but New Zealand. But now that I'm a bit older and wiser and have a family, I think for me, like New Zealand, if I could think, it's just for me, it's safety. And and it's safety in like my environment, knowing what I'm doing, but also it's like I never would have thought I'd said this, but I love when my friends message me and say, I just saw your son scootering to school, or I saw him dancing like no one was watching, or something that would have sent me into like the world's biggest tailspin. But I just love the community and the kind of one degree of separation that New Zealand brings. And so it's like this, I don't know, I feel like we're really lucky to live here at a stage. But I just set all my nannies to go off and live in Melbourne because I'm like, this place is too small for you, go. So so it's for me, it's safety and community.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And you actually are located down in the Hawke's Bay, whereas a lot of the people we talk to are based in Auckland, and you've got the experience of that as well. For those people that don't know New Zealand very well, how would you describe the difference in the regions?
Oh, so different. So Auckland for me was rat race, expensive, but no public transport. You just spend your life kind of running. And then that regional leap that we took was scary because there's it was still very pre-COVID, no remote work. It was like there were 0 jobs in the regions. And so but regions, for this region particularly for us, is beautiful. It's hot, it's got mountains, it's got rivers, it's got the ocean, it's got walking tracks, and there's just this like wonderful vibe. There's all this new blood post-COVID, so it's like people working in these wonderfully interesting roles, doing like super amazing stuff. And so I just feel like generally regional New Zealand is taking a real spike in terms of like people moving out of the big centres post-COVID, which is amazing.
And I see, Gabby, that you've picked a interesting word as your magic word to talk about. You've chosen the word seeker. Can you tell us why and what that means to you?
Yes, and this took me a while. So and I'll tell you the bad side first, like kind of never satisfied, like I always need to grow and I need to find out more and I need to make more friends and I need to, and so I'm always just seeking growth and learning and all these like things that, some people just kind of go, man, that was great. And I'm good. I'm content. So I guess that's there's a real like need for me, and I've got better at it, at just sitting back and going, we did really well. Like we're good. Yeah. But on the flip side, to the positive side of being a seeker is like the rich relationships you're always seeking out and finding, and what you learn because you're asking questions, and like the places you go and the people that you meet in these wonderful places. And so I didn't like do the whole like go to London and do all that. I went and worked on a racing yacht in my 20s because that's what weird seekers would do. So I think that's kind of epitomizes me as a human. And as I say, like I need to balance that with a bit of contentment and a bit of gratitude. But that embodies, I think, who I am.
It's a beautiful word, beautiful concept. And if we put it into Aotearoa at the moment, like people pursue more, and more is never enough. That's what we're trying to do. And, certainly with the work we've done with you over the years, Gabby, as a leader in New Zealand, what would you wish that leaders in New Zealand would seek out at the moment?
I think they need to seek growth and proper feedback. Because I do see a lot of leaders, I get this all the I've led teams and I know this and I know that. And I'm like, yeah, but why then are you being such an asshole to your team and not listening? So it's like, I just wish that particularly, I mean, everyone's a bit defensive at the moment because it is quite a scary time. There's been a lot of people being laid off, but I do think that those people that are excelling are those ones that are open to seeking that stuff out, right? And being generally open to like, hey, what could I do better? And how can you help me to get there? Those are the kind of people that are really excelling in New Zealand at the moment, not those closed off, I'm a manager, defensive ones.
Yeah. And you work with lots of different businesses. Would you say that the majority of leaders are in that camp or in more of the closed mindset camp?
So we're on a transformational journey with these guys, a lot of them. So, there's been a lot of change as we've kind of maneuvered our way through the journey with our clients. And, so we're on a very mixed bag in terms of journey with each of them. If I can talk about, I guess, my one that I'm like super proud of, when we started, there was like very closed mindset and a lot of like real lack of transparency in terms of the business results. We had a pretty scary time at the beginning of this year, and we made a pretty like significant changes to the leadership team. And as of this week, we are now talking about how we can spend more cash on people next year and engagement and offsites. And because we're flush, we're good, we're going for investment. So that was a CEO who's super young, but just wants feedback all the time. Like, hey, how could I have landed this better? And just like doing an incredible job. If I pivot then to, and some others who are probably on earlier stage in their journey, and they're just starting to work with us, and it's all a bit, I guess, scary when I say, hey, your baby is ugly and you need to, so they're getting used to that, and I think they are starting to come on the journey. But there's always like this friction point at the start of our engagement when they're like, whoa, we just thought you were here to like pull out tissues and make us all feel lovely. Not my jam.
Yeah. And you use this kind of not transactional, be transformational narrative. And certainly in the work we've done with you, Gabby, that's something we advocate for. One of the challenges we have, and with us coming to New Zealand, we're hoping to give it a bit of a vitality shot, is that the world over, people seem to be stuck in crisis managing their way through short-termism, scarcity, fear-based mindset. And what you're talking about is, look, to be truly transformational and make a difference, you've got to have courage, right? You've got to be open to it. And we know courage is not the absence of fear. So in terms of how you try to personally impact that and influence it, what do you say, what would you be doing in your role in making a contribution to New Zealand's future for that?
I think like this will sound small fry and a little bit controversial, but my genuine belief is that as a CEO, if you have the right team around you, you will make it happen, right? Like even if there's a bit of a lack of product market fit or your pricing is off or something, if you've got the right people in the room who gel and can own their stuff, then your job becomes actually quite enjoyable. So for me, my job with a CEO is to just get them to have the tough conversation with someone that's not at that level, right? And by doing so, it's awful, it's scary, it's not nice for anyone, but not having the conversation, it just ends up in like frustration, lack of business performance, and then it actually impacts more people around them. So for me, like if I can just impact this, like get the CEO to be braver every day in that way that they communicate, be more direct with care, then like that's a huge contribution to the New Zealand economy, to businesses, to leaders.
Yeah, nice. And you might have answered this already, but I'd like to ask if you could give one magical piece of wisdom that you'd like to give to others, what would that be?
Oh, so much. So magical and whimsical with my advice. No, I think genuinely it is never underestimate the impact of a relationship or a connection or a network, because particularly in a small country like New Zealand, I'll give you an example. Recruiter cold calls you. You are rude to recruiter. Recruiter then just becomes a CEO of a company one day, and recruiter does not want to work with you. So that's like one very easy example of be nice. The other example is like never underestimate the great work you do with people in one place, and the kind of, you know, people talk and the amount of work that I get, and like, you know, like just general support and networking and mentoring that I get from people that I've worked with in the past is like, that's my like absolute purchase in life, is to just be a good human to those that have kind of been in your path.
Yeah, love that, Gabby.
That's nice, Gabby. I know I was going to ask you, just as a seeker as well, do you know what you're seeking?
I do. It's very personal. I've been on the couch about this, but I grew up without my dad around, right? So I'm seeking pats on the head and glory. So bad. That's like I'm psychologically damaged. No, I've got this chip on my shoulder, and I'm seeking for the next sort of 10 years, I want to do really amazing growth stuff for New Zealand tech companies. And then after that, I want to do some really amazing growth stuff for young females that may not have had a leg up like we have. And so those are my long-term goals. That's what I'm seeking.
That's
I
beautiful.
love that. Love that.
Yeah. It's not formed, but that is my like, that's my why, right?
You haven't read that anywhere. That's from the heart. So it's fabulous.
I love that, Gabby. And it's sort of really weirdly, I think the universe is somehow talking to us here, because our previous guest, Bruce Pilbrow, the CEO, who's the CEO of Spirit of Adventure Trust, he left a question for you, not knowing it was you, but it was all about vulnerability. So, you know, you've just been a wee bit vulnerable.
Super vulnerable, yeah.
Yeah. So his question was, what does that word vulnerability mean to you as a leader?
It's so nice. That's like my purchase question, right? My currency is vulnerability. So I am disarming with vulnerability. And I used to call it I used to say it was something like self-deprecation, and all the women were like, you can't say that, and I'm like, no, it is. It is to be vulnerable with someone disarms them, and then they are honest and vulnerable with you. So that's like, I do that every single day, and every interaction I have is to be a human first, and our values, right? Connect first, be bold, make an impact. Like that is the way that I trade every day with clients, with team members. So like, it's a very appropriate question for me.
Oh, that's lovely. That's Bruce must have known it was you.
Must have. Like our universes collide.
Yeah. And we'll get your question when we wrap. But that's it from us. We thank you so much for taking the time to spend a bit of time and chat to the alchemist and the adventurer. And we look forward to seeing you when we're down in a couple of months.
Can't wait to see you both. It's going to be great. I'm looking forward to hearing about the great work you do when you're down here, because I think a lot of people will benefit from it.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. Can't wait to see you.
Yeah, likewise. Thank you.
Cheers, Gabby. Bye.
Thanks.